Okay, this is me. I don't have a selfie stick. I don't have anything really fancy. I have to figure out how to look at this without trying to get through the bottom parts of my bifocals because, well, I got kind of crappy eyesight, and I'm trying to more or less keep myself looking at the camera without looking at the image of me there. I'm sort of old. I mean, I'm a little bit past middle age, and I'm just having an experiment to see what it's like to film myself. As you can see, I'm in full COVID lockdown mode. I got hair that hasn't been cut in 3 months. I'm wearing old sleeping clothing that I sleep in. We're wandering around the inside of the house. I'm married. My wife is out right now. She's just gone to get a blood test. She called ahead to book and see if she could set an appointment, and they said, we have accepted your thing. Waiting times are currently 0 minutes. I think they just sort of book and as you're walking out the door. So it's not really an appointment. It's just like, oh, if you show up, it's going to be this amount of time. This is our office. It's a little bit disorganized. It's got a guest bed in it. And if I walk around here, you would be able to see, that's my wife's computer. That's my setup right there. I've actually got 2 computers. That little tiny one on top is Mac Mini, and then I have a gaming computer underneath that. I have a Cricut cutter. I like to do things. I like to try to make stuff. I'm retired, even though I'm still fairly young. Too young to actually be retired. I'm medically retired because I have a fairly bad back. It's not bothering me right now, but when it does, it really does. And I take painkillers for it. And painkillers are not a great thing. They generally tend to play keep away with your memory and your ability to think. It's a really good expression that somebody came up with. I don't know who it is, but I can't brain today, I have the dumb. Well, that's me a lot of the time. And if I'm not taking the painkillers, unfortunately, then I'm in too much pain to really concentrate. So I was a programmer analyst for the longest time, and I did what? Mostly worked in documentation tool support for a telecommunications company, a big one that went bust eventually. Then I did worked for a small company that contracted out to all kinds of government and private sector things, education, military contractors, pharmaceuticals, that sort of thing. Again, mostly online information access and documentation. I was in the game of things HTML-ish when HTML was barely a dream. Working with something called SGML. That was a long time ago. And then later worked with XML, and well, of course, as soon as the World Wide Web became a thing, got all over that like a fat kid on a Smartie. Which, by the way, I am a fairly large guy, as you can see. Working on that. My wife is an excellent cook. Can't blame her entirely, though. I don't get enough exercise anywhere as much as I should. I like to read. Some of our house is a little bit disorganized, so I'll try to pan the camera very carefully to make sure that you don't see the worst of it. But if you can ignore the parts that are laundry, you will see that there are books. This is just some of them. That's, how do we do that there? That's some more of them. Those are actually mostly my wife's books. And then there's books and books and more books and books. And that's just one of the things I carried over from before there was an internet to really dig your teeth into. When I started using the internet, it was news groups and really clunky email communications and things like that. So I was very happy when the World Wide Web came about, originally because, well, you could go to certain places and look up things and actually get stuff that you wanted, whereas if you were on the news groups, they used to talk about the signal to noise ratio being rather atrocious. It was bad. Like you might, depending on whether or not there were active flame wars going on, find 1 or 2 or 3 posts that were relevant to what you wanted to know, in amongst, dozens and dozens of pointless trolling and griping and bitching and complaining and, flame wars are what they are. And the funny thing is that my appreciation for the World Wide Web has completely reversed now because, well, we've come around to social media where, again, signal to noise ratio is just pathetic. I don't really do anything on Facebook. I have it because it's kind of an access key to get into certain things. But other than that, it is what it is. And I see that I'm at 6 minutes and 26 seconds, and so I'm just gonna wrap this one up. My first experimental video. Talk to you later.